Hello everyone, and welcome to Paul Ricard for the penultimate race of this season of Formula Omega.
For the first time, the two Pentacorons have locked out the front row, with Mia Hart on pole position and Jack Coffey alongside.
In third place, very good qualifying result there from Alp. Fourth place, Ileana, doing much better than her teammate. Very disappointing qualifying from Elle. Panus looking to be very fast, especially down the long Mistral straight.
In fifth place, we have Lewis, the winner of the last race, and sixth place is Alex in the Think Again.
Other championship contenders all around the upper midfield here, with Greg down in seventh and champion and not our championship leader Greg in seventh, and current champion Dan in eighth.
In ninth place, well behind her teammate, is Mia in the Alfa Romeo, and last of the major championship contenders, we've got Jack Gray in the Slim Pagan.
Let's get this started. 3 lights, 5 lights, and away we go.
Good start from Jack Coffey.
Mia with a good second phase though. Ileana already up through, easily.
Good start from Alex, he's through to fourth.
Jack and Mia battling as they
Jack's
go
gonna have the...
into hotel. Ooh, Mia just reigns ahead. So yes, Ileana and Alex both overtaking Alp.
Poor start from Dan, they're down to 10th place.
Chris up 2 there. Lots of shuffling around the grid early.
Practically no one's in the same place they started at.
As they go down the Mistral Straight for the first time. Alex with a good slipstream on Ileana, however the Panus has very good straight line speed.
It's going to have to be very late on the brakes.
Ooh, no contact as they go into the North Chicane. Mia and Lewis battling. Mia getting through.
The two frozen lights just going backwards. Do we think they're carrying a lot of fuel?
Hard to tell at the end of lap 1. Elise moving up into 12th as Bronwyn has spun. Was there contact? So the two aggro-hos were battling. Yes!
Oh, that's Ollie.
Ollie makes contact there. I think that's probably a warning for Ollie.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mia H is ahead by over a second after the Mistral Straight. Alex catching up massively to Ileana through the long, twisty final sector.
The two Pentacorons really taking the opportunity to pull away through the twisty sections.
So they're going through Tour Curve into Village du Pont and onto the start-finish straight. I thought Alex was going to hit. Then. Yeah. Look at the gap that Ileana pulls. The two Alfa Romeos battling for 5th now as we enter lap 2.
The two Pentacorons already nearly 4 seconds clear. These guys have got to get past Ileana quickly.
Best bet might be to try and force Ileana into a mistake though. Bit like that.
We've seen it before.
Ooh. That's now a really tight train. Surely something's got to happen as they head down the Mistral Straight.
Alex is going to be really under pressure from the Alfa Romeos behind. He's not got a good exit.
They're going one either side of him. They're going to go 3 wide into the chicane. Mia goes through! Alp goes through as well. Oh! Mia hits Alp!
The two Alfa Romeos making contact. They've both made the overtake on the...
They did. Greg also gets through on Alex. Dan down to 10th, still having been overtaken by Alba. As Alp does get going in last. Let's see a replay.
That looked like a bit of an over-ambitious move from Mia on first viewing.
So let's go on board with Mia here. Long run into the Mistral Straight. Gets even better slipstream off Alex than Alp did.
She has no idea where Alp's going to be in the braking zone at this point.
So you see Alp. I don't know. Alp doesn't leave room.
No, I think Alp wasn't expecting Mia to still be there. Like, at this point, Alp is
It's a
clearly
shorter
ahead.
run to
and
it. I feel that's a racing incident, to be honest.
I lean slightly towards Alp being entitled to that corner, given the clear half car length advantage he had over the front of Mia's car at this point.
I don't know. I feel like with everyone this bunched together, you've got to expect something happening. Even if it's
Definitely.
Alex coming back. Like, I think it's just going to have to be a racing incident.
Yeah, definitely not Alp's fault, I don't think.
No. Meanwhile, Mia Hart leads by almost 3 seconds over Jet. Oh yes. So Mia is now up into 4th, being chased though by Greg and Alex. Ollie looks to have made a nice overtake on Michael. Michael's dropping actually. Does Michael have an issue? Yes.
Yes.
Michael is going to be the first to retire here. Greg gets past Mia. Mia seems to be off. Yes, Mia's off.
That looks like at turn 1. Was there contact between Mia and Greg?
Estelavar. Oh, yes, there was contact with Greg. Now that looked quite cynical to me.
A little bit. Did Mia leave enough space on the inside? Or did Greg misjudge the braking and understeer into her? It was very early in the corner that contact happened. It seems completely...
From this. Right. Why does it
At this point, both of them can still avoid the contact.
Yeah. Doesn't look like Greg is turning that much, does it?
No. There wasn't really any effort from either of them to avoid that collision.
I'd definitely say it's more on Greg. Like,
well, it's Mia that's lost out. She'll drop right to the back with that.
Joining out.
Probably. Yeah, those two might end up next to each other again.
It does look like Greg just kind of understeers into Mia. I think might end up just being a warning for Greg.
Well, whoever was at fault, I don't think the two Alfa Romeo drivers are going to be particularly impressed with each other right now. But they're about to be pretty close to each other.
19th, right ahead of Alp and Bronwyn, who I don't know if she's had any kind of mistake.
She has to spin on that one.
Oh yes. Lovely overtake from out there.
So these three now have a lot of work to do to come back through the field.
Catch Ben.
Ileana continues to hold 3rd place as Greg is losing out.
I think there was contact between Ileana and Greg there. Indeed. Oh yes.
Oh, and Ileana goes straight across. Well, no, she doesn't. Straight across.
She avoids doing that nicely, actually. That's going to be 5-second penalty for Greg. After the contact with Mia earlier in the lap.
The championship leader taking everything very aggressively right now.
Yeah.
I think Ileana moved in the braking zone.
No, I think Greg moved across, actually.
Well, you're allowed to as the car behind. But the car in front, once you commit to the braking zone, can't move in front of
Ileana was just going for the corner.
Like,
Ileana was on the line for the corner.
Greg was entitled to space. I don't actually think that's a penalty anymore.
That's two contacts in the same lap from Greg being.
Oh yeah, and there was no reason for Greg to be taking that risk, but Greg has reason to be angry at Ileana there because Ileana closed off the door completely, and at that point, both of them had already committed to the braking zone.
I suppose. Mia gets back close to Greg. Greg drops to last of those running.
So Lewis, who didn't have a great start in the Frozen Light,
did Dan.
is right on this group.
Lewis and Dan haven't changed position.
If the Frozen Lights are on a heavy fuel load, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves.
Chris and Alba are both up 5 places.
As we come to the end of lap 3, the Pentacorons now lead by more than 10 seconds over the next non-Pentacoron cars.
They do.
This is
Alex
as dominant
always
as
takes that
Frozen
line.
Light were last race. Is he trying to trick people to think he's pitting?
I just think that he oversteers in Virage Japon.
It's possible. It's very easy to do off the exit there.
You know, ooh. That is Chris and Alba, or Chris at least. Oh no, it's Alba. Sorry.
What's that with Dan?
Oh, that's quite cynical.
That's near like for like as what happened between Greg and Mia.
That's slightly worse, actually.
So Dan commits to the braking zone, is a bit further behind, to be honest.
But Dan is like fully braking, though.
True.
I think that's a warning for Dan, like it was for Greg.
Yeah. But a lot of accidents in this race.
There goes Ben and Mia and Alp, Bronwyn, and Greg.
As Ileana has lost out. She's lost that third place.
What happened here? Just a mistake
yes,
as they go through hotel?
Ooh,
oh, locks up in the second part of hotel.
Can these two now close up the gap to the two Pentacorons ahead?
Oh!
Mia Hart out, potentially.
No! Mia Hart just making a mistake. Locks the rear right. Holds it very nicely, actually.
Yeah. Her teammate will go through.
But yeah, she does get going again.
It says a lot about the size of the lead that the Pentacorons have, that she can make that mistake and only lose one place.
Yeah,
still
Alex
a long way clear.
Oh! Lewis...
Alex out, potentially! Is that a problem?
What happened?
Alex
was it just the same mistake?
He seemed to get no drive off that corner.
He really didn't. Let's check. Electrical problem for Alex.
Yet another technical failure for the Think Again team then.
This would be dangerous with the closing speed of the Panus.
Absolutely.
Oh, nicely navigated through Senior there. You know, Dan and Chris are right on the back of this as well.
Despite that slow start, Dan is just seeing their championship rivals drop out and spin off one by one.
Let's see. Obviously, Alex will actually pit this lap. Oh! Dan tried to take the inside line there, and it did not pay off as Elle goes past now. Dan drops back down to 8th. It just...
Oh, Elle lining it up, though.
Lewis has moved up into 3rd. Dan looking for moving to force a mistake into hotel, maybe?
We've seen this so many times before. Elle is the last car you want to be stuck behind.
I'd rather be stuck. I'd almost rather be stuck behind Elle than in front of them.
Fair. I mean, if you're in front of them at the start of a straight, you're not going to be in front of them by the end.
No, but they may have gone through you.
Well, let's see what Dan can do in the braking zone for the chicane.
Keeping up pace nicely, actually. Oh, Chris and Jack Gray!
So Jack Gray trying to make the overtake. Jack taking a very tight line.
Oh, that's on Chris.
I don't think Jack Gray was ever making that corner. Actually, I don't think either of them were ever making that corner.
No. Look at how much Chris moves in the braking zone here.
Look at the line that Jack Gray's taking and how late they brake. There's zero chance they make the apex.
Jack hadn't reached the corner.
They're fully both at fault for this. But if Chris hadn't crashed into him earlier, then it would have happened later anyway.
I suppose that's a racing incident then. That once again promotes Dan.
It's working out so well for them, isn't it? The two frozen lights.
The Panusses are in 4th and 5th.
And Elle is rapidly catching their teammate. Ignore that sector time. In general, they are.
What, ignore the sector time down the fastest sector?
Well, yeah. It's hard to make up time there. The Panusses are just quicker than everyone.
I was about to say it looks like Ileana's going slow, but it's just the final sector.
So after that mistake, Mia Hart is now closed right back up on her teammate.
Yeah. Wonder if there's a fuel difference.
I think Mia Hart probably has lighter fuel than her teammate, given the way that she pulled away early on.
Could be going for it here. They're battling into Hotel.
Side by side, they avoid contact.
Elise gets through Dan. How did that happen?
Elise
Motors.
Completely unnoticed. She's had an incredible opening few laps here.
Dan just got distracted by Elle, I think. And Elise goes through up into 6th position.
Dan has not been having a good time off the exit of that corner. It's where they've been losing out.
Very few people have. To be fair, last lap it was because of Alex being there.
Yeah.
Dan goes straight back through, pretty much.
Can Elise go around the outside?
No. Dan has so much more grip. Indeed, right on the back of Elle already.
They need really good traction off here to have any chance of pulling alongside that Pinus.
That is really good traction.
They're a lot closer.
Oh, I wouldn't have pulled out that early. Moves to the inside? No, stays behind.
It seems like the engine of that Pinus, as Elle runs a bit wide. As that's compromised Dan's exit off the
It's given Elise another chance.
In the background, Alba and the Salwen were going side by side into the chicane. It might not have been Alba. No, it definitely was those two.
You got Greg trying to get past Debs.
Debs is having a great drive.
First start last race. Speaking of first start, Georgia running in the points in her first start. And Sluntz's first start. I think it was Mia.
Performance from her. I believe it was those two, because they swapped places.
Ileana Pitts!
It's a very early stop from the Pinus. Is that a field stop, or is that a technical issue?
That's another wide run from Elle.
So Ileana in at 1/4 distance.
Not that much fuel. Greg's trying to get past these two again. Oh, it's Debs! Oh, Debs makes contact with Georgia. Debs loses out.
Somehow
Elise gets past Elle.
Keeps it on the track.
Elise and Elle battling. Elise through.
How has she done that? Elise in the Skev Motors now up to 4th position after overtaking a Pinus.
Just had much better drive out of the corner.
Now, can Elle get that place back down the Mistral Straight? Because Elise is going to have a great next few corners.
The thing is, as Chris pits, will Elle waste time defending against Dan? Look at the gap that Elise has already pulled.
Might be enough, but that Pinus is powerful.
The Skev Motors is also powerful, and Dan is catching. I think Dan has accepted that just get the tow, and then you're going to be faster in general.
If Elise is ahead after seeing, she's safe.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to be. That's 4th place now for the Skev Motors driver.
Alp now closing down on Georgia, having got past Debs. Alex and Jack Gray battling for 18th, and this is for position. As they're going
Very
to
important position as well. Both of these drivers still in with a shot at winning the championship.
Dan gets past Elle, actually. So this is
Elle making a mistake?
They're going into Bendor here.
Looks like they're a bit wide on the entry.
Dan just has so much more drive.
That Pinus is really struggling in the corners right now. No wonder Ileana pitted so early.
Well, Ileana had been locking up as well. Mia now right on the back. As Elise pits, that could explain, as does Mia, that could explain Elise's pace.
It's not too surprising to see her in early, but that's still an incredible opening stint. Let's see how much fuel she puts in.
Not much, 7.3 seconds stop. Mia, 8 seconds. Where is Ileana? Ileana goes through both. That is not surprising. Meanwhile, Mia leads by 5 seconds from Jack Coffey.
Lewis 14 behind, and Dan is 30 behind, and presumably outside the pit window.
As Greg trying to challenge Elle down the Mistral Straight. That is not working. However, could in the North Chicane.
Not a great line from
How is
there.
Ollie doing with this? Not close enough. Ollie doing a good job for the aggro hose.
Absolutely, they're still looking for their first points of the season, and Ollie still looking for his first points of his Formula Omega career.
Seems as good a chance as they'll get. Just keep yourself out of trouble and you should be getting points today.
El again wide through there.
And Greg does go through at the same place Dan did? Yes, except later down Galabar.
So recovering from that accident, Greg now up into 5th place. And only a few seconds behind Dan.
This would mean that Greg Ollie pits. That is also not surprising.
Again, a very strong
I believe
first
this means that Greg would retain the championship lead as it stands, or would Jack Coffey have it?
I believe Greg would retain the lead, but by a reduced margin.
It looks like we're going to have a very exciting time in the finale. Very short stop for Ollie.
If it finished like this, with both Pentacorons, both Frozen Lights, Greg and Jack Gray would still be able to win the championship. Going into the final, which would be absolutely incredible.
And all of them have a realistic chance to win. It's not like in previous seasons where it's been all but decided.
This really could go any way. And there's still a lot of time for things to change in this race.
Speaking of Jack Gray, trying to overtake Alex. With Ileana defending against Bronwyn. Lovely pass from Jack there.
So the Pentacorons have had incredible pace this race, but I think it's quite notable that neither of them have made their pit stop yet. So they weren't on a light field to start. That's a very real pace advantage that they've got.
They seem to have made a lot of their pace early, as Alp also gets past L.
I think Ileana holding everyone up definitely helped.
In the same spot. L just cannot take Bendor correctly, it seems. They should really pit, I reckon.
L's car seems to have so much understeer right now. Just no front grip.
And they don't.
L losing, what, 5 seconds a lap right now?
Already 10 seconds down on Dan. As Alba pits.
Isn't working for them.
Alex is up into 10th. Hasn't pitted. Debs also pits.
And Alex Woodger
just drives past Alex Woodger.
Oh yeah. Didn't even need to think about that one.
I mean, that was fully expected. Greg is closing up on Dan. Except the power of that frozen light down this straight.
We saw in Mexico that the DLP was a bit quicker down the straights than the frozen light was. But that could well be different here today.
But the frozen light tended to have good traction.
Yes.
Mia hates pits.
So potentially longer than expected first stints. Like, she is in a very strong place to win this race. It'll be interesting to see how much further Jack can go.
Quick stop.
Short middle stint.
Lewis is blowing up.
Out.
Doesn't pit. Lewis will not finish this race. And likely will not have a chance to win the championship.
That is such a shame. There's been so many races where Lewis has been in contention for the win and something has gone wrong. And Lewis could easily be leading the championship right now. But
Greg pits. That's very interesting.
It is.
Alp also pits.
No surprise that Dan in 4th is continuing to stay out. I'll be surprised if they pit before lap 14.
Oh, Greg has to wait. 4L.
That cost them a few seconds.
The yellow flag, I believe, is for Lewis.
L finally in.
Yes.
I think they'll be well behind their teammate. Their teammate already gone through. I think staying out those extra few laps has cost L quite a few places.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were behind to begin with. Jack Coffey's blowing up as well!
Jack Coffey.
Going through Tour.
And that'll be the second race in a row that the Jack Gray has had a technical issue.
If Jack Coffey's pitting this lap, it could be okay.
Jack Coffey, yeah. Potentially. Do you think that looks like a fixable problem? It isn't smoking as much as...
That's Virage Tour, so... That's Virage
That car doesn't look... Yeah.
They haven't deemed it fixable.
It looks like Jack Coffey will fail to finish this race.
Jack Gray is in 6th and he's going up to 5th.
It's confusing now that we have 2 Jacks that are actually competitive. Georgia
yeah.
She's on a 1-stop. Her pace on those tyres is still fine, and she's running in 5th place.
We are properly into 1-stop range now.
Georgia is on for a big points finish here.
So obviously Jack Coffey hasn't stopped and won't. Dan hasn't stopped. Alex has stopped. That was due to the electrical issue on lap 3.
Yes. So they haven't really gained much from that. Georgia's trying to defend against Jack Gray.
1 or 2 more. I reckon Dan and Alex still have the same number of stops remaining.
Ileana's very early stop has actually worked out alright for her.
I think pretty much everyone roughly has the same number of stops remaining of 1.
Yes.
Georgia defending well against Jack Gray here, as Jack Coffey has broken down fully now.
Mia Hart resumes the lead. Dan will move into 2nd place.
That is actually quite a safe place to pull off at the inside of the chicane.
And Dan has an 18-second gap back to Alex. So with everyone still having 1 stop left to make, pretty much, like they are in a very strong place for 2nd.
And importantly, Greg is down in 11th, but may not. But don't forget, Greg had a 6.6 second stop. Greg is making 2 stops here.
Absolutely, and not that far in the future. Georgia stays ahead of Jack Gray for now up in 4th place.
The Slants has actually got pretty decent power.
These 2 are racing for position. Neither of them have stopped yet.
Neither have Bronwyn or Ben Scott Evans, who are in 7th and 8th, ahead of Elise. These 2 are 40 seconds off of Mia. There's the move that we've seen so many times through Bendor. But how long will both of these keep going, is the question.
So if it finished like this, Dan would take the championship lead.
Mia just got past Elise. I was locking up there a bit. Locking up quite a lot. Actually, that's allowed Elise to get back through.
Greg is shaking down Ben. Very good pace there. Elise has made her pit stop, whereas some of the cars ahead haven't.
It does it again. That's going to be the 5-second penalty for Greg.
I can't argue with that. That's...
Yeah. Such a shame. I mean, that's Ben. Ben hadn't stopped yet as well. Ben was doing well. Bronwyn just casually running in 7th behind Ileana.
And still yet to stop. Like, Bron's doing well, considering
Jack
how
has
old
already
those
gained
tires are.
2.5 seconds on Georgia. Georgia, in fact, is... Oh no, not dropping back towards Ileana.
Probably in the middle sector.
We'll do here, obviously.
Yeah. Everyone drops back.
Oh no,
not in the middle sector! Ileana loses it in the middle of the chicane.
We have seen that before.
Mia Hart made that mistake.
Yes.
Not that it's cost her much.
There goes Elle. And Ben gets back on running in 15th. Debs has broken down.
Out.
That is a shame.
Definitely. She was running a very strong race there.
Oh, Alex making sure that Debs isn't going to do anything weird. Chris not having quite the same concerns. Jack Gray pits.
So that's exactly one lap short of mid-race.
Yeah.
But
Georgia doesn't.
Presumably he will field to the end now.
Neither has Dan.
This is a long opening stint for Georgia.
Bronwyn is also pitting, I believe. 8.2, there is Bron. So Mia, leading by 23 seconds.
She is just completely unrivaled right now.
Confirmation that it was a transmission failure for Debs.
Mia Hatt, of course, won one Formula Omega race back in Laguna Seca in Season 2.
Are any of those people we can see on the screen one stopping?
Alex definitely has to stop again.
The ones... Yes, Alex has to stop again. I think everyone might have to stop again.
Jack, of those drivers,
of those 12?
I think so, yes. I think Jack Gray might be the leader of those yet that don't have to stop again.
Mia's catch has just caught Chris. Of course, was involved in an incident earlier and has made a stop. Oh, that's not being pleasant for Mia to overtake.
There's no reason for her to take any risks here.
However, this would be a good place to let Mia through.
She's not known for taking too many risks compared to, say, Greg.
Ooh, neatly through in the end. As Dan enters the Mistral Straight. Georgia now defending from Greg.
Alex in third is slowly
Alba has overtaken Elise there? No, Ollie's out.
Ollie was running in the points, wasn't he? Or in
yes.
a position to potentially be later.
Yes. That's one aggro hose out, and the other running in 17th. Still
Alex
yet to score this
way
season,
off the back of the field. Yep. Still yet to finish a race.
Alp has been running slowly. Greg finally gets past Georgia down the Mistral Straight. Confirmation of an engine failure for Ollie. It's not that hot today, it's only about 10 degrees. So you wouldn't expect the engines to be suffering too badly.
On the other hand, like the Mistral Straight is a pretty intense experience for the engines around here.
Yeah.
Like, we're seeing the highest top speeds we've seen all season.
Alba going a bit slowly there. I think just made a mistake. Alba looking to get past Elise into Bendor. Oh, Elise makes a bit of a mistake there. As they enter Cours de Galibier.
Elise taking a bit of a strange line on the way in here. Is it going to work for her on the exit?
Ooh. I think neither of them were too confident in each other's abilities there. Elle running only down in 11th. Ileana's still right behind, even after all the incidents.
Yes. I was going to say they'd made their second stop, but they lost out because of that spin, didn't they?
Yeah.
Evans in for his one and only pit stop of this race.
16 laps. Dan and Alex haven't pitted.
Dan and Georgia haven't pitted.
Oh, Georgia, yes. Alex effectively hasn't. Due to stopping on lap 4. Let's see, where is Dan right now?
That 3-lap tyre advantage that Alex has, though, has been slowly helping them to eat into that gap to Dan. It was over 10 seconds, it's now down to 7.8.
Dan's still not pitting. Going to lap 18.
It's a very long first stint from him. And Georgia.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if Georgia comes in.
Well, Georgia has Mia close behind now. We expect a flurry of pit stops in a couple of laps as well, for when the two stoppers are making their second stops. Georgia does come in. The end of lap 16. For her one and only stop.
Shouldn't be too long of a stop to fuel to the end from here.
Sluntz's first ever pit stop.
How are they going to manage it? Bit slow on the front right, but hasn't
No,
got
that
too
was
much.
an incredible
5.9.
stop.
Yeah.
Is Georgia coming out in the points?
Looks like not quite, but
no,
their pace
just behind the
advantage.
Panusses.
That's
in between
exactly
even.
Where...
Oh.
That's unfortunate for her, actually.
Elle, in the points, in position to see the checkered flag for the first time in their career.
This is their 11th try. They've had some very strong performances that have ended in disaster. Crashed out from the lead on a number of occasions. Can Elle finally
Georgia
get that
just
plus
goes
point?
straight through in camp. That is an incredible move.
Now, if Georgia can get a good slipstream off Elle, that
Dan
could...
now pits.
That could protect them from an attack from Ileana behind.
Yeah, Ileana is...
gone.
Not... Oh.
Oh
no.
Oh no!
No! It's a puncture!
That is so sad to see.
It's a puncture.
How has that happened? Were the tyres already, like, was there an issue with the tyre when they put it on? Because they've only just put those tyres on.
Dan had a 10.5 second stop.
That's slow.
Yeah. Georgia's out. That is...
Is it that front right that they were hesitant about putting on?
Yeah. Oh, and there's...
That's Jack Coffey!
Yeah. Who's finally being pushed away?
I think they've realised that they need to actually get that car off the track rather than just leaving it there.
There's also a Ripper there as well. So Dan has come out right behind Greg, who we believe has to stop again.
Almost certainly.
Ileana! What has happened there? Oh, Ileana makes her second pit stop. First of the two stoppers to come in. 6.6 second stop.
Their pace hasn't been amazing, but both Panusses are still running with 10 laps to go.
And I think that might be a first. I mean, Mia obviously has a full, pit stop lead to Alex, who is now pitting.
Not only does she have that lead, she's pitting later than all of them. She's extended that gap with more fuel.
I mean, this is Alex's, one stop load, if you know what I mean.
Fair.
Where will Alex come out compared to Dan and Greg?
That's going to be close. Alex was closing that gap down. I think he'll be a little bit behind, but his pace has been really strong in the last 10 laps.
Greg doesn't pit. And
of course, Dan had that slow stop.
They are through.
And that gap is a lot less than it was before.
It is. It's still relatively slow stop for Alex. 8 seconds. Only 2 seconds faster than Dan. Elise now pits. As does Alba. Oh, Alba only just makes it into the pits. Or they're pitting in boxes next to each other.
This could get interesting. If Alba makes a particularly quick stop, then Elise will have to wait.
Elise with a very fast stop, actually. 7.5 compared to the 8.2 of the Aqualea. Mia has now lapped... is looking to lap Elle.
Now leading by nearly a minute. Mia Hart still has to pit, but that's not very far off the record for biggest winning margin.
Yeah, Elle is not someone you want to be lapping.
Definitely not. Wow, that's not where Mia Hart expected them to break, for sure.
She is through, though. Chasing down Jack Gray. Dan right on the back of Greg now. And Alex only a second back. Greg is actually slowing things up massively here. Let's see, is Greg pitting? Is Alex pitting? Oh no, of course Alex isn't pitting.
So I think Greg has to stop again, but Dan and Alex definitely don't.
Yes.
But Greg is bringing Alex right into this race.
Mia pits from 5th.
Let's see whether she can come out ahead of the Panusses.
7.3. Absolutely. Well, definitely Ileana. Given that Ileana's made her seconds off.
Fair.
Comes out. Mia Hart finally pits. Yeah, Mia is back out in 7th. So as long as this pit stop goes smoothly.
If their pit stop is slower than about 40 seconds, then they might be in trouble. That'll do.
Clean. Ileana's out! That looks like a crash.
Yeah, they've lost a wheel.
Oh no. Technical.
Yeah, just gone straight on. Suspension issue.
I think so, yeah. We'll wait for confirmation.
Well, if the suspension didn't have an issue before, it definitely does now.
Alex and Dan battling into scene.
Dan having so much confidence in Alex that Alex wouldn't just take them out.
They've had a lot of battles together.
They know exactly what each other are going to do. Which makes it both
was
easier
indeed a
and
suspension
harder.
failure.
Mia Hart has exited the pit lane.
Yep. What they need to
these three are not
is clear Greg.
to pit lane entry. Is it worth the risk, or should they just wait for Greg to pit?
There we go, Greg does pit.
And they haven't lost time being stuck behind Greg as he pits this time.
Can Alex capitalise on this? Doesn't seem like it. This is going to be the battle to watch, the battle for second.
Absolutely. The Mistral Straight is going to be Alex's big opportunity, though he might want to go for it earlier, apparently.
Going for it into Hotel? No. Alp gets past Greg through the pit.
Yes. So that's Alp now back up into 4th place.
We do think Alp has to stop again. How close is it going to be between Greg and Jack Gray, I wonder? As Dan and Alex head down the Mistral Straight. Alex looks to be nosing ahead, perhaps? Yes! Alex is through up into second.
Alex was just much better on the brakes than...
I don't think Dan would mind this too much.
It's the gap to Greg that really matters, both in points and in time. If Greg can close that gap with those fresh tyres, and that's not out of the question, then Dan is going to have to really be defending that place hard in the closing laps. But there is a 25-second gap.
Seconds.
So...
I don't think that's being made up.
Yeah, Greg needs to be 4 seconds a lap quicker.
Alex pitted what? 3 laps later than Dan?
Yeah. That'll make quite a big difference. That'll be like half a second or more in
I mean, Alex is gone.
But...
Oh, I thought Alex was pitting there for a second. L, still running on lap 22. Honestly, they've had an okay race. Like, it's not been the quickest. Alp does pit. Where will Alp come out relative to Mia?
Interestingly, Alex is catching Mia Hart. That gap now under 30 seconds.
Relatively quickly as well. Here comes
Mia Hart.
Jack Gray goes
off a bit, or does she have some kind of problem? Or is Alex just that quick?
Mia goes past Alp as well. That was a slow stop from Alp, 8.6. We'll definitely stay ahead of Alba though. L!
As L's out!
No!
For the 11th time in a row, L failed to see the checkered flag.
Can they not roll back onto the track, please?
Well, they're not that far from the finish. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and get out and push.
They have been classified before.
They have. They were very close to seeing the checkered flag on that
Mia Heard lapping Ben Scott Evans again into turn 1. Lovely clean.
Ben Scott Evans, 1 place out the points for Ben Scott Evans. He's been there before.
Yep. Bronwyn, it's a transmission failure for Al.
So the Panus on reliability strikes again.
10 seconds back of Mia.
Of course, both of these two, well, they were involved in that accident with each other.
Yeah.
But Alp does have the fresher tyres, right?
Yes. Interesting. Don't forget, like, Greg does have that 5-second penalty, but I don't think it's going to apply here.
No, what is the pace that Jack Gray's doing? Presumably it's slower than Greg, considering that Greg's got much fresher tyres.
Yeah, and a much faster car.
I've certainly
Jack
seen...
is also defending against Mir.
That won't help. That Slim Pagan has had no lack of pace this season, though. It's definitely up there with the top cars now.
Mir really caught up through that final sector.
Can she get past the Slim Pagan?
Who would be leading the championship as it stands?
As it stands, Greg. Yes,
by 3.
By 4, I think.
It could only be 3 over Dan.
Greg would be leading by 4 points. Greg would close the gap by 2.
Advantage, right?
Greg has a 6-point advantage over Greg.
As Mir does go past Jack Gray. Now, Mir has relatively fresh tyres as well. Can she catch Greg?
I think it's unlikely.
5 seconds of Greg.
That gap's about 10. That gap's about 10 seconds. But if she's really got the pace right now, and it looks like she has, then getting within 5. Getting within 5 might not be out of the question.
So that was a slow middle sector due to overtaking. Look at the deltas. Greg actually setting his fastest lap of the race. Right now. Greg does a 1:36.994. Was Mir's fastest is a 1:38.1. Does a 1:38.6 thanks to that middle sector.
So not really that close to Greg.
No.
Greg now less than 20 seconds behind Dan.
Alex and Mir have just been doing identical times.
Pretty much.
The presence of Alex Woodger will not help.
So
Dan is
how many
7
laps...
seconds behind Alex.
Something to point out here. How many laps ago was it that Alex overtook Alex Woodger for position?
Alex Woodger has made an additional stop?
Because in a very short time, Alex has gained up an entire lap over Alex Woodger.
That Ripple is not fast.
It isn't, but it is on for its 4th race finish.
Skiv Motors and Selwyn are looking to get a point. Skiv Motors is one position off a double points finish for the 2nd race in a row.
After that first stint, I really expected more from Elise, but she's had a pretty quiet one since the first 10 laps. Is she catching Alba?
No. Is Ben catching Braun? No. Not noticeably. Definitely not, actually. So we have, what, 14 cars still running. Mir lapping Alba. Or not?
Alba really doesn't want to be lapped.
Would you?
It's one less lap to do.
It is. I mean, we saw Michael blow up after not completing full race distance, but finishing last race.
That happened to Alex Woodger.
I thought it was Michael.
Was running in 8th place, but dropped to 10th after a last lap failure.
No, I'm talking about Michael had taken the checkered flag.
Oh, yes, that did happen.
Yes.
That's kind of the opposite to what happened to Alex Woodger, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm saying that is the advantage of being lapped.
On the other hand, if you're not lapped, and someone has a failure on the last lap, then you have the chance to actually get past them.
Yeah.
Whereas you're still stuck behind if you're
a safety
a lap
blanket.
down. It is.
Greg looking to lap Chris here. Chris never really recovered from that incident. Meanwhile, Greg
very wise.
Ooh, keeps it on the track though.
And still makes the overtake.
I think Chris just kind of let him through. Alex into the pits. That must be a technical issue.
Alex Hill making a pit stop very late on.
brake issue for Alex.
She's not had the best race, has she?
No, but she's only lost the position to Chris.
And Agro Hose are yet to score a race finish this season, so I think Alex Hill will be very happy if she can get that car to the flag.
Yeah.
And not a yellow one.
She's seen plenty of them. Dan has closed the gap. Oh no, the gap has extended to 10 seconds between Alex and Dan.
And Greg has significantly reduced that gap to Dan. It's about half of what it was, but it's not nearly enough.
I mean, he's taking 10 seconds out of it. It's still 17.
Yeah.
16 and a half. Like, that's just... Dan is just taking it easy to get the podium. Mia Hart starts the penultimate lap as Greg goes through the North Chicane.
The one thing that might turn into a battle is Alp against Jack Gray. Those two now are just 2 seconds apart for 6th place.
Indeed. See how much time can be gained down the Mistral Straight. The Alfa Romeo not known for being the best down there. Of course, all of Jack Gray's championship rivals would want this move to happen. Also, Frozen Light will not win the Constructors' Championship today.
No.
Unless Mia Hart breaks down on the last lap and Dan overtakes Alex.
With the top 2 drivers on grid tyres, this is a massive result in the Tyres Championship. It would be a swing of 8 points to grid from Gridlock. Yes, they would be on equal points going into the final.
Equal results as well,
Grid
right?
against Gridlock. Either pretty much equal or literally
I think it's
equal.
2 seconds and a third each.
And this would be Gridlock's third.
Yeah. So it would all come down to the final race. Alp looking for a move. Into the S's. Goes through. Does Jack have an issue?
Jack Gray braking very early.
Jack has a water leak.
With 2 whole laps to go, that's going to be very difficult to get that car to the flag.
Mia's starting on the final lap. This could be a blessing.
Just 1 lap away from a 2nd Grand Prix win. Pentagon's first of the season.
Jack might not drop out of the points. There is the steam that we were expecting to see.
The issue with having a water leak is that everything from like the steering to the other stuff is run off. It's all hydraulics. So the whole car will seize up if you run out of water. And
indeed, it sounds like it has. The engine appears to have stopped. Jack Gray pulls off.
And this, I think, will be the end of their chances of winning the championship. They will be more than 20 points behind Greg and out of contention.
That is a shame. However, it could mean that we have a double points finish for Skev Motors.
This will move Ben Scott Evans into that important 10th place. And they're not under pressure from behind.
Apart from Alex. Meanwhile, Mia Hart comes through Virage de la Tour. Virage de Pont. That was not Virage de la Tour, that was Virage de Bendor. That's Cour de Galabin, this is Virage de la Tour. Virage de Pont for the final time. Mia Hart comes through in dominant fashion, having lapped everyone but the top 6. And wins the French Grand Prix. Alba secures 7th for Aquileia. What?
Let's ignore that. This 2nd place for Alex, if he can get it to the line.
Elise gets 8th for Skev Motors. Bronwen 9th for Selwyn. Ben Scott Evans secures the 2nd double points finish in a row as Alex comes home in 2nd position for his 2nd podium of the year.
That'll keep his championship chances alive.
Dan will be very happy to see the checkered flag coming through in 3rd position, maintaining Frozen Light's lead in the Constructors' Championship. Alex Woodger finishes down in 11th. Greg maintains the championship lead in 4th.
But with Dan now less than 5 points behind him, all Dan needs to do is win the last race.
Alex
It doesn't matter what Greg
battling
does.
to the line for 12th. She does not
be close,
get
but
him.
That cheetah racing car has a lot more power, it seems.
It does. Mia will finish 5th for Alfa Romeo and Alp 6th. As we see Mia Hack for one final time for this race. Thank you everyone for watching the French Grand Prix. We will see you in the season finale.